Welcome to your yin yoga practice. Today's practice will focus on opening up the chest and kind of getting into more of the upper back thoracic spine. So all you'll need today is either a pillow, a blanket, or a bolster, and we will just use that in the few of the poses that we go through. All right, so come to your seat. Pelvis nice and heavy, hands relax, either stacking in your lap or hanging out on the knees. And then your low back draws in and lifts up a little bit. The spine is not rigid, but I do want you to feel a little bit of lightness out of the crown of the head and grounding in the pelvis as it connects to your mat, to the earth. And relax the space between your brow. Relax the space between your brows. Relax your jaw. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears. Just settle into this moment, into this space. And just allow yourself the opportunity to be here, to be present in your body. We want to engage in the process of disengaging or disengagement. So let go of the doing. Allow yourself to unwind into a state of simple being. Allow yourself just to be here and to stop. Slow down. As your mind wanders, just come back to your breath. Just a few more moments of stillness here in your seat. Bring your palms together in front of your heart space. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. Let the hands relax and the eyes open. Soft gaze off the tip of the nose. So the first pose that we will explore today is banana pose. And this is just a great pose to lengthen up through the side body. And doing that and stretching these muscles also helps us breathe better and take in more air, more oxygen. So come on down to your back and you'll scoot your entire body over to the right side of the mat. And I always start with the legs, so walking the legs over to the left and just having one foot next to the other. And then the upper body, you just start to shimmy the shoulder blades over to the left. So they're potentially lining up with the feet. And then you'll reach your arms overhead. You could even have the elbows bent or nice and long. And take your gaze to the left, or maybe you take it to the right. And you might feel like this is enough of an opening to stay in for the next few minutes. If you want more right out the gate, you'll simply take your right leg on top of the left. Maybe reach your arms more over to the left side. And then once you're there, let the eyes close. And settle in. So we stay here in stillness, just like we did in the beginning in our seat. And after we're here for a bit, I'll let you know that perhaps you could deepen into the pose. So we'll talk about that in a minute or so. But for now, just back body heavy on the mat. Gaze off to one side. And perhaps your mind wanders every second. So this is the practice. Taking your awareness, your attention back to your body. Tuning into that mind-body connection. If you feel like you could have a deeper side stretch happening here, you would uncross the legs and walk your legs even more to the left, or maybe the legs weren't even crossed in the first place, so you might try stacking the right leg on top of the left, and the right ankle. And then from here, you could even start to walk the upper body over to the left even more. And same thing, settle into stillness. Keep your attention present. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. So we'll just slowly start to make our way back to where we started. Crossing the legs if they're crossed. You can take the arms down by your sides. And then just notice the difference here between the right side and the left. I feel really considerably longer on my right side. So just taking that in. And then you'll make your way to the left side of the mat. So again, you might walk the legs to the right first and take your left ankle on top of the right. And then from here, you start to shimmy the shoulder blades over to the right. So if this is your tight side, you might not find you're able to start where you did on the other side. This is certainly my tighter side, especially right here above the hip. Feels like it always needs to be a bit stretched. So just find where you want to start. Doesn't have to be like your edge in the pose. And then you might take the gaze down to the right or up to the left. You can hang on to the left wrist with the right hand. And then find stillness. Once you get settled in, it's important just to be still, be heavy on your mat. And then from here, if you want to deepen into this, if the legs aren't crossed, you can cross the left ankle over the right. Or perhaps you could move the legs even a centimeter or inch to the right, and then maybe you follow that by shimmying the shoulder blades over as well. Visualize that opening in the left side body. It's getting longer and gently stretching out. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. And then start to walk your legs back to where we started and the shoulders. And then just notice, do you feel more even on the sides? Or does one side feel more tight still? There's no wrong or right answer. So it's just bringing awareness to how you feel. And then from here, bend the knees and bring your feet on the mat. Maybe even scooch back over to the middle of the mat here. And windshield wiper the knees side to side. And then you could either roll off to the left or right side and press yourself up, or grab behind the thighs, rock and roll, and come up to a seat. Okay, so come to hands and knees. And this is where you'll want a blanket, bolster, or pillow. So we're going to lay the right side rib cage on to the bolster, and the knees will be bent here. And then from here, you can take this right elbow and just rest your head on it. And then take the left arm up and over. Maybe the fingertips touch down. You're just reaching over the head and continuing to lengthen up. All the way from the pelvis, the hips, through the rib cage, side body, and up through the fingertips. And I'll hang out here for a couple minutes. You can definitely take the right arm out as well. Interlace the fingertips. And then if you find that the pillow, blanket, or bolster isn't quite where you want it, you might slide it down. That'll give you even a bigger, or I guess more sensation maybe into that side body stretch. And then press your pubic bone between your upper thighs. Bring that arch back into the lumbar curve. Close your eyes and settle. Since you've been here over a minute, it might be possible to walk the arm, the fingertips that are overhead, even further away from the pelvis. You could even maybe lean back just a touch. Big breath in. Exhale, release. And then just sneak your left hand back. You'll use the left hand to press you up. And then just notice what you feel. And then we'll switch. So turn to the left hand side. Use the bolster, pillow, or blanket to add more lengthening to the side you're trying to stretch. So you might adjust this down or up, and then walk your right arm or your fingertips all the way up and over. And settle in. Perhaps you can even walk the fingertips further away from the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. And then you can take the right arm up and over and use the right hand to press yourself up. And then come on up. And now we'll do a pose on our back. So you'll take the bolster underneath the low back. I'm going to have it all the way up to the back of the pelvis, and then you can lay back. And then if you want, you can, let's see, what would be the options here? You could either have your arms out to the sides with the palms facing up, or you could have them all the way up over the body, which I feel promotes more lengthening with the side body. So this should feel like a gentle back bend. Shoulders are on the mat, and then the arms could be up overhead or down by the sides. And then just let your prop really support you. Just get heavy. And sink into the earth. Relax your jaw, eyes are closed. You can let the legs be wide and the feet turn out as if you were in Shavasana. As the mind wanders, bring your attention back to your body. The rise and fall of your chest and belly. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly roll off to the right or left side. And just pause there for a moment. And then gently press yourself up to a seat. And before we go into the final resting pose, we'll take child's pose with a bolster. So knees can be wide, big toes touch. And then you'll walk your hands forward, and this will open up the chest more deeply than your hands being down on the mat. So the elbows are lifted. And then this is your choice, so you don't have to have this here, but hopefully you feel open enough in the chest and the side body that you can bring the forehead down to the mat. And it's okay if the hips don't touch the heel, or the sits bones don't touch the heels. You could always have even a blanket here, or if it's comfortable, just go into the pose without the block. Elbows point down. Five more rounds of breath. Inhale, breath. Exhale, release. Slide the hands off of the bolster, walk them back toward your body. And we'll set up for our final pose. So you could take Shavasana. I think I mentioned that. Laying on your back. You could even have the knees here underneath for some support. Or you might take the bolster toward the wall, sit your hips up on it, and take legs up the wall. You can, of course, do this without a wall. Just put your hips up on a bolster, but I'm going to take advantage of this. As long as I don't cut my head off in this video, looks good. And then whatever pose you came to, just become as comfortable as possible, whether you cover yourself up with a blanket or have an eye mask. And take the arms out to the sides. And once again, back body very heavy. Jaw soft, face is relaxed. Bring your attention to your left foot. Relax your whole left foot. Bring your attention to your left leg. And relax your whole left leg from the foot all the way up to the hip. Relax your whole right foot. Relax your right leg from your foot all the way up to the right hip. Relax your entire pelvis heavy on your mat. Relax your left hand. Relax your whole left arm from your fingertips all the way up to the shoulder. Relax your right hand. Relax your right arm from your fingertips up into the right shoulder. Relax your belly and your chest. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax your forehead. Relax your whole head. Feel your whole body relax from your toes all the way up through the crown of the head and out the fingertips. Your whole body is relaxed. Come back to the present moment unless you can stay and enjoy a longer Shavasana or legs up the wall. Your body will tell you when it's time to come out. Whatever pose you're in, and if you're ready to be guided out, just start to bring some movement into the fingers and toes. And then if the legs are up, you just bring the knees toward the chest and turn to the right or left side. If you're in Shavasana, knees come to the chest one at a time and then turn to the side that calls you. Press yourself all the way up to a seat. Eyes remain closed. Just take your time. And once in your seat, Pelvis is heavy, spine is tall yet not rigid. And there's a lightness coming out of the crown of the head. Just notice how you feel now compared to when you started. Hold your palms together in front of your heart space. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.